Mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Sounds good on my end. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Good morning, traders. Good morning. What is this week going to bring for us? What a wild week last week was, right? That was crazy. All right. Good morning, Cyclonic. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, what a wild week. The last half hour or so, I was just reviewing some news and looking at the news for this week, and yeah, what a wild week that was. It could get even worse. I don't think we're done with volatility yet. I don't know if we'll ever be done with volatility with Trump at the helm. He really moves the markets one way or the other. April 7th today. Got some news on Thursday. CPI, core CPI, building permits. And core PPI on Friday. Yeah, we could be in for a wild week, guys. This could be a wild week again. Like I said, last week we were really moving. It's moving pretty good today too. 2-minute candles for 29, ATR at 29 and 30. That's pretty big. Pretty good sized candles. 67 for 5-minute. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. So how's everyone doing? I'm going to do some 2-minute chart trading today. One of the biggest reasons I did this for that last video that I made is this is how they recommend to use it. If you look into the user manual in here, if you read all this, I'm using this exactly how they recommend to use it. And so I wanted to make a couple videos documenting exactly what that's going to look like if you use it, just how it comes and how they recommend it. So I've had some conversations with some other traders, and I've always been a big believer on the signals. I like the 3-minute chart for signals. I've been doing that for pretty much the whole time. So yeah, we're going to do a few 2-minute signals today, and that's going to be for the live stream. And then I may actually do some 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute videos here in the next little while, just kind of showing what you're going to see and what to expect when you buy this simple market metrics. I can't talk today. Good morning, Chad. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, 2-minute chart. We're going to do a couple signals today. Then tomorrow we may do some 3-minute and some swing like we usually do. See what the week's going to bring us here. I'm excited. I don't know if I'll pass this TPT eval this week, but I'd like to. If the market moves good for us and I can capitalize on it, I'd like to. That would be really great going into next week funded. I would be thrilled with that. I was thinking about that a lot over the weekend. I need to do some research on Replicanto. If anybody uses Replicanto, can give me some tips on it. Tell me how good it works for you. One of the questions I had is if you can do a personal account, like through AMP Futures, and if you can do prop firm accounts. I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't know. I haven't done much with copy trading, so I want to make sure I understand everything and I've got it down. Okay, we've got 8 on the stream today. Thank you, guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let's see what this week's going to bring for us. doing our top-down analysis here. We're going to kind of just look at things and see where we ended up on 4 hour. And if you guys remember last week, we did these lines. We did our 4 hour bottom and top, and we blew through that on Friday pretty good. Internet's a little slow today. Go back to 1 hour. So yeah, we can see this is our bottom 4 hour we made last week, and we blew through that on Friday. Really sunk hard on Friday afternoon. That was a monster candle. That was an absolutely monster candle. Just really, really big drop. So this week here, okay, I'm going to kind of zoom way out here. I just want to see where the next level down is, but we dropped way further than I thought we would. I thought we'd bottom out around here, right around here. I thought we'd be really close to the bottom here. So looking back, good morning, Andres. Yeah, you're right. So far, this week might be like that. I really was doing some studying here a little bit ago, and I think we're going to have a wild week again, guys. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, we may find new lows. We may find some super bottoms to this week. Who knows? We go to the daily. We're hovering right around that 5,000 mark. Wow, we've really dropped hard. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Make sure my signals are on. They are. Just out of curiosity, let's look and see. Jeez. We just buckle up, guys. That's all I can say. All the circles I follow, all the people I follow, everything that I look at. I'll tell you this too, and this was kind of interesting. My wife works at a bank, and some of the communications they've had internally lately, without giving too much away, have been very concerning. She's worked at a bank for 9 years, and some of the things we're seeing with what she's getting information from the internal side of the banking industry is very scary. Very, very scary. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. See what this week's going to bring us here. Now, on the flip side, I'm hoping that we're going to start getting some, hopefully we can get some tariff negotiations going on and we can get things to settle back down. Maybe a good time to buy and reinvest. That's what a lot of people are thinking is going to happen. So, but yeah, it's kind of wild. Man, 40. Look at that candle. For a 2-minute candle, that's crazy. 2-minute charge right is just going nuts right now, guys. So I want to say this too. 2-minute chart is probably the lowest chart I'll ever trade because I've just never had good luck on 1-minute chart. 2-minute chart, it seemed like I can do pretty decent on. 3-minute chart and 5-minute chart are definitely my favorite time frames, but it doesn't mean I can't trade another time frame. I mean, I can swing on 4 hour, I can swing on 1 hour. I traded 10-minute charts briefly. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility. A lot of guys will do 15-minute charts and just do one trade a day. So, try to be. I'm very curious and inquisitive when it comes to trading, so I like to look at a lot of different things. But also, my channel is, I'm an affiliate for Simple Market Metrics, so I really feel like it's important that I document and show exactly what you're looking at, exactly what you can expect in a live scenario on a live funded or a live eval, right? I feel like that for me, I like seeing an actual trader do it and seeing it on an actual screen instead of like a review. And I mean, I could go back and show a video and just draw lines or whatever and say, hey, it went this far. This would have been a win. This would have been a loss. But I think showing it in an actual real life trading scenario is much more beneficial to somebody looking at buying it. So, and I just show everything. I try to be as transparent as I can. I mean, I show my settings. I show the time frames we're doing. I'll show the levels we're looking at. I mean, I just try to be as real with it as I can because, you know, if you're going to trade it and you want to use this tool and you're going to be like, at this point, you're an investor. Let's do all the research and homework we can and make the best of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really like the transparency of a real trader on a real account with real settings on a real scenario instead of just looking back in history and saying this would have been a win, this would have been a win, this would have been a small loss. You know what I'm saying? I like the real life scenario. I think it's more authentic. So yeah, I do though. I plan for the channel. I'd really like to have a video on 2 minute chart, like that video I did last week on 2 minute chart. Have one on 3 minute chart. Have one on 4 minute chart. Have one on 5 minute chart. See if there's any difference. I mean, you could probably make all those work. I think what'll happen is you'll get less signals the bigger time frame you go. I think that's what we're gonna see. So. And so, you know, if you use this toolbox right here and you use the ATR, you can stretch out you'll get less signals, but you probably get more distance. So you can stretch out your take profit a little bit. So, but I also like the idea, you know, it's not a bad idea too, if you don't have a lot of time in the morning and you just want to trade, you know, do 2 trades and be done. That might be what we do today. I might just do 2 trades. I got some things I got to do today. As the weather improves, I'm going to get busier work-wise. My work is outside, and I actually do a lot of side work when it starts warming up. So the next 6 months are going to be busier for me. So I won't have as much time to live stream and to trade in the mornings like I usually do. So I may go back to just doing 2 trades, 3 trades a day. That's what I was doing last fall when I was doing all the testing with this, and I think October I spent a little bit more time, and then November, December, January, February, very slow for me outside of here, so I had plenty of time to work on things. So, but yeah, I want my library to show like real live scenarios and real examples, and you know what I mean? I really feel like that's important. I think a lot of people really, you know, a lot of people vibe with that. So, man, my internet's lagging today. What is going on here? Chad just said that the 1 minute chart shows 340 for a 1 minute candle. That is absolute insanity. Guys, that's like 5 times what it usually is. 5, 6, 7 times what it usually is. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Good for traders. We want distance. That's how we make money as long as we're on the train. But it could be bad in lots of other ways too. Man, I got killer internet right now. I don't understand why there's a lag. Holy crap. 115 on 2 minute? 157 on 1 hour? Whoa. See that, guys? It just spiked to like 400. 5 minute chart just went 400 briefly and then went back to 150. Or maybe it was I thought it was 410. Maybe it was 4. I don't know what that was, but that was crazy. God, I got 850 on my megabytes and my download 60, so we should be plenty good internet. Stream looks good. I'm looking at my laptop. It's streaming at 1080, so we should be good there. 102 on 2. Holy mackerel. Guys, this is insane. Yeah, in the last 15 minutes, we went up 100. 125. 140 since market open. Half hour ago, 45 minutes ago. Wow. Hold on, guys. Buckle your belts, right? Looks like we're getting close to that 4-hour low. See, that's why I like those 4-hour borders, because the other day on Friday, I don't know if you guys were here on the stream or you saw that, but we had a time, it actually rejected. I was trading when this happened. It actually rejected off that 4-hour. So it poked down through it for the first time, rejected off of it, and then poked down again and just continued to trail down all the rest of the day. There was actually a signal after I ended the stream. I got 5 for 5 on the signals. There was a signal about 20 minutes later, and I had things to do. I wasn't able to stream anymore. So like I said, as time goes on and it gets warmer out here in Utah, that's going to happen more and more. But yeah, that 4 hour, that I wonder if it's going to respect this. I want to see what happens here because this has now become a resistance. It used to be a support. Last week we were trading off that bottom support a lot, and the last couple weeks actually, and then it finally broke through on Friday. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, 340 on the 1 minute chart. Absolute nuts. Absolute nuts. And you know, some guys are doing great with this trading, and some people are just getting kicked in the face. I mean, it is absolutely brutal. Us retail traders are just prop firms have got to be making hand over fist right now, you know, because people are just blowing evals after one after the other. They've got to be. They have got to be just blowing them. Just making sure my son's ready for school. Stride ought to be here just a minute. Wow. Wowie wow. Man, I can't believe that. That is absolute crazy. 5 minute chart, 158. Woo. Pretty strong market open right now. But is it going to just reject and then we're going to sink lower this week? I mean, where are we going to bottom out this week? Not even an hour ago, we were 48.81. Now it's 52. Man, that is just insane. Okay, so this candle closes and it stays rejected. If we fall below these next resistances, I mean, just looking at the price action, it's rejected that 4 hour resistance pretty strongly now. But let's see what happens here, because it's kind of crazy. I didn't get a signal. I would have thought with that much movement there would have been signal. Of course, I do have the chop filter on, and I highly recommend you keep the chop filter on. Look at it this way. Let's take less trades that are higher probability. You know what I mean? I may have got a couple signals now, but would they have gone through? Or would they have been, you know what I mean? I mean, they might have been fine, but I just feel like with all the testing and things I've seen, I think the MA filter and the chop filter are there for a reason, and I'd just rather take less trades. I'd rather take higher probability, less trades. Okay, let's see let's see what NQ says. Let's see what NQ says here. Looks like I rejected that 4 hour level pretty hard. Sometimes if you click it on and off, it'll catch back up. So we did get a signal on NQ. I didn't get one on MES, but NQ would have got one. I don't have signals set up on NQ. I don't really trade a lot with that. Sometimes I do. I don't know. I have a torrid relationship with MNQ. It's really good to me and it's really bad to me. It feels like when I'm on the wrong side of it, I really pay for it. And MES, I just feel, statistic-wise, I just do so much better. I mean, I've reviewed my stats and I just do so much better, so I just plan on sticking with that. But yeah, I was kind of surprised we didn't get a signal. I want to see if I take the chop filter off, if it gives us one. That's probably why. It's reading that there's a lot of volatility right now. A lot of volatility. Yeah, it still didn't do it with chop filter on. Interesting. Well, let's see what today's going to bring, guys. Let's see. It's still got a ginormous ATR. Money flows high. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that earlier too. I was watching, God, I don't know what news channel it was, but they were saying late last night that he was thinking about pausing some tariffs. But they're also seeing that a few countries are coming to the negotiating table because it's going to really hurt them too. I mean, that's the whole reason he's doing it, is to try and get negotiations going. And I think when he had his own business, that's how he kind of handled business. He would go in there and just do these high stake deals, and it was like, look, it's, you know, I think that's the mentality he has with what he's trying to do with the country. So, I mean, I'm really hoping they know what they're doing. I want things to go better for our country for sure, but it's kind of scary. What we're seeing is kind of crazy. What's different about Trump too from Joe Biden is when he jumps on X and makes an announcement, man, the markets really pay attention. Uh, Joe Biden was kind of, I don't really know if he even posted on X, and I don't really know if anybody could understand what he was saying most of the time. So it didn't really move the markets like it does with Trump. It was a lot different. We've done a very, the last 6 months things have changed drastically in many 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 ways, and this is the result of that. I mean, we're seeing the wave in the market. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Jeez, look at that. Peaked out 2 minutes or 6 minutes ago, 52.81. Clear back to 50.48 in 6 minutes. So if you'd have bought here by mistake or on purpose or whatever and didn't have a stop loss, you'd really be in bad shape right now. Yeah, I thought that too, Chad. Trump's really the first president that did it at the extent he did. 2016, when he came in and started posting on X pretty much daily, it was kind of different. I mean, I think before that, Obama probably did a little bit, but it didn't make the impact that it did with him. He's for whatever reason, for many reasons, he when he says something on there, it really moves things. But you might be right. That might be something they should talk about. Is like, because everybody. For example, 2 weeks ago we were trading. I did my live stream, and then in the afternoon I was trying to trade Power Hour, and I rarely do that. I do it maybe once a week or if that. I just sometimes I have time and I just want to do something, and I'll jump on it. I've got another streamer that I follow, and he does a live stream all day. We were talking about it in the middle of us talking. Trump post on X about something related with tariffs, and it moved the market crazy at like 1 in the afternoon when nothing is happening. Usually that's pretty slow. It's like right before Power Hour, and it was just throwing things everywhere. And he's like, "Oh yeah, every time Trump gets on there and says something, the markets go absolutely wild, absolutely wild." Sorry, I'm just talking to my son. He's trying to get a vehicle, and he needs my help. So I might have to cut the stream early today. Ideally, I'd like to get at least a signal or two, and I can just show how I traded the signals and how they worked out on this setup in this market with the craziness. That's kind of what I'm hoping for the channel. My channel has grown tremendously, guys. I cannot believe I've had like 500% growth in a lot of the metrics, and it's because the simple market metrics and futures trading in general is a popular niche right now. So, but I'm an affiliate for simple market metrics, so my whole channel is really based on futures trading as a whole. But the metrics toolbox is just killer. I really enjoy it. So now in the future, I'm not limited. I didn't sign anything saying I can't trade something else or I can't do other things in the future. So I may, if I see something else, I might do something else in the future. But for now, I'm 100% simple market metrics, and it's working well for me. I'm really happy with it. I don't really see anything. This is probably some of the best trading I've ever done in my life. And I've been involved in trading in somehow, some way for over 15 years. So lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, both ways. Yeah, Chad, I used to trade forex back in those days too, and it was almost impossible. Nothing would work. So like EMAs wouldn't get respected, RSI wasn't being respected, time zone, time frames. I mean, you're right, absolutely right. I know exactly what you're talking about. You would be in a perfect alignment trade. I mean, there is no reason this would move one way or the other, and it would go against you. And you jump out thinking it's going to go the other way because everything all of a sudden said it would, and then it'd fly right back to where it was. And then an hour later, it'd fly back down and fly back up, and that's just whipsaw. You know, you're just a meat grinder. And I know exactly what you're talking about. That was super, super hard to trade. That's really when, so let's see, the 2016 is when he came in. I made the most I've ever made besides probably, oh yeah, overall, the most I ever made was like 2013 to 2015, 2016. And I started noticing that too. When he came in, everything changed. I did a lot of Euro USD and XAU USD back in those days. And then I do JPY or GBP JPY. That was one of my favorite ones to trade. That one was pretty easy to read and understand. But I started swing trading because I just couldn't do this lower time frame. The volatility was way too much. Just a meat grinder. And like you said, it didn't matter. You would have lost on sales and buys because those candles were so big each way. And it was just throwing things everywhere. And the best I could do is just go to a higher time frame and try to find the higher probability setups. And even then, it was hard, really hard. I was really glad to get out of forex. I'm not gonna lie. Futures is much better. It's much better to trade. Much better. Been a lot happier with futures. There's my son's ride. My security dog. She's all gray haired and old, and she thinks she's the toughest thing you ever seen. She tried to fight a cow once. That was hilarious. She weighs like 50 pounds and thinks she's as big as a cow. Crazy. But yeah, Chad, I used to do forex, and I'm glad to say goodbye to that. And I'll tell you what, I like TradingView much better than MT4. I spent a lot of time on MT4 over the years. A lot of time on MT4 charts. And what I didn't like about forex too, that I like about futures, is you have to have all your trades closed at the same day. Everything's got to be done and done by the end of the day. I really like that. I used to hold trades overnight, over the weekend, and that just kicked your face in. Oh my gosh, that was such a mistake. And this is so much better. Such a mistake. I remember holding trades over the weekend, and something would happen on a Saturday or whatever, and you'd come in and there's a giant gap from where it was. And you're never on the right side of it. It's always against you. I mean, I know people that would try to do pending orders and stuff, but the broker wouldn't respect it because the slippage got so crazy. And so it didn't matter what you were doing. You're just better to stay out because they would just hose you one way or the other. No matter what. That's why everybody feels the same about forex or trading in general. No matter what, you're always against it because they are. They're always against us. The brokers aren't your friends. They're happy to take your money, and they want to be friendly when they're taking your money, and they, back then too, they used to do those big deposit bonuses. Everybody loved that. You put $1,000 in, you get $1,000 bonus right off the bat, but you couldn't withdraw it or do anything with it. It was just numbers on a screen. And so all it did was give you more rope to hang yourself with. That's what they were hoping. And then they give you 100-to-1 leverage on top of that. Okay. Now I wonder if we're going to go back up. If we're, I like to, so I noticed on the signals too, if you watch when we change, if we go from triple R to triple G, which anybody who's watched the channel knows what that means. When those switches, usually you'll get a signal right within the first couple candles, if not the first candle. That's very common. Now I have my time filter on, so they'll only start right about here, so we can't look back in history and see if there's any other ones, but typically from what I've seen, that's pretty common. So I'm watching. If we clear this 21, we're above the 221. We're on a order block, so there's a pretty good resistance right there. If it goes back up and aims for that high again, there's plenty of distance there, so we may get a signal. We may get a scalp signal. So I'm watching that. If we get it, we're going to take it. I'd like to do a signal or two on the stream today. That would be great before I have to leave. So, but yeah, another reason I like to wait till 30 minutes or so till after the market opens. Typically, statistically, I've always done better. If I wait that 30 minutes, I do much better statistically. That first 30 minutes is usually pretty volatile, and even if everything lines up and looks good, it doesn't mean there's a lot of whipsaw. Really easy to, and the fees are higher too. Whenever there's a lot of volatility right at the beginning of the market, the fees are extremely high. So you could get into a trade and you'd usually make $100 or 150. You'll end up making 50 or 60 because of the fees and the slippage, and it's just pretty crazy right then. So when it starts slowing down, you do quite a bit better as far as your fees and slippage go. Sometimes slippage goes in your favor too. I had a trade the other day where I should have made like 200 something, and I made 275 because I got in really good. The market filled my order really good, and I ended up making a little bit extra, and the slippage was pretty low right then. So I'll say this too, and this is just my personal observation, but I like the feed for TradingView when you're trading Take Profit Trader and Tradeify is better than if you're trading with my funded futures, and I don't know why that is. 2 or 3 different times that I've been looking through my stats on all those, I've always had better fees from Take Profit Trader and Tradeify. It seems like my fills are a little bit worse. There's a little bit more delays. There's a little bit more slippage with my funded futures. And that could just be my experience. That could just be random too. Maybe that's just, I shouldn't say that's a broad thing, but I know for me, I've seen that and I noticed that. And I think I'm saying that right now because I just barely got this TPT account, and I was looking at my stats, and they're quite a bit better than last week's stats on the My Funded Futures. So, and I'm not saying I like My Funded Futures. I plan on getting another account when I start linking these all together and doing the replicanto, but something I did notice. Yeah, it's probably good to wait, Chad. I agree. And like I was saying earlier, the chop filter is probably why we didn't get a signal, and that's a good thing because we don't want to be trying to buy when things are this drastically against us. There's nothing to say this couldn't just drop and crash through these supports right here. Now, this is obviously, we've got four supports stacked on top of each other, but that doesn't mean, with the way things have been the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this could just blow right through it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get clear, clear down. So that's smart. Yeah, that's smart. And look at this on the 4 hour chart. Look at that wick that just manifested. That's insane. That is insane. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not able to see further than this. I thought I had it set at like 1,000. Maybe I might have to go in there and see if I can set. I mean, they might be messing with the data feed or something. I don't know. Because the other day I could, no problem. But yeah, just looking at the price action, that dipped into that profit wave. Holy crap, we could really. I mean, just looking at if you look like at a Fibonacci and took a Fibonacci on here, it might say that we're towards a zero, but if you extend that out, that's why I don't like fibs, because it probably says to buy right here. And, price action saying that too, but it doesn't. This wick looks nasty. Look at that, what we just saw, that looks super nasty. This could just really drop on us. Anytime, when I was trading Forex, you probably seen this too, anytime you're against MAs and you see a wick like that, that means we're going to, I think they call it an inverted hammer, but we could be in really big downturn. This week might get wild. I'm not kidding you. This week is very concerning. Some of the things I watch and see and follow. This is probably the most concerning I've seen things this year. So, and yeah, look at these ATRs. Still absolutely stupendous. I mean, that's just crazy. Most normal ATRs for 2 minute charts like 5 to 10. Yeah, mine's been kind of weird today too. I wonder if it's just reacting to the market. I wonder if it's just because of the volatility and it's just having a hard time keeping up. Because yeah, mine has been very weird today. Every time I switch screens, it's just really slow and delayed. Like I said, the chop filter's probably helping us today. Because anytime you get some major moves like that, that chop filter's probably telling it not to place a trade. Let's see, this NQ trade probably went through that signal that was on NQ. But man, if your slippage was out of control, you might not have got filled. You might have placed a buy right here, and it either got filled instantly or they never filled you. And the market just kept running without you. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Good Lord, look at that candle. Jeez. Those two candles in a row. It's like 1,000. That's like 1,000 right there. So in 15, 20 minutes, NQ went from 17,255 to 18,322. Holy crap. Yeah, it may be, Chad, for guys like you and I mean, I've got a good start on this take profit account, this eval, but I don't want to blow it either. You know what I mean? It might be good to just pass today. I don't know. I mean, it could tailor. It seems like the later in the trading session, things kind of smooth out a little bit. So maybe, but yeah, I don't want to blow my account either. I'm not blowing this account. This account's we're gonna get a payout on this account. I'm gonna do a video on a payout on this account. That's my goal. If it takes me 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get there, I'll slow down. I'll get there. It's fine. I'm gonna get a payout though. End of story. I'll bet. Yeah, Cyclonic, I'll bet, man. Did you get filled? And it probably went through in like 30 seconds, huh? Just looking at how fast that moved, I'll bet the heck that you probably hit buy and it probably went through in like 30 seconds, if that. Just looking how big that candle was. Yeah, good. Good for you. Lucky. That was good. Do you use the chop filter, the MA filter and the chop filter? I'll bet you do. Yeah, I figured you did. I love it that way. I don't think I'll take those off. I've just had really good luck that way. When I was testing everything, I just left those on because I just looked at that like I'd rather take less trades and their higher probability, and I really think that's what it boils down to. Not to say that the other trades wouldn't work out because they probably do. I mean, it's a really good system. The market metrics it's a really good toolkit for the price. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but if you got an eval or you got funded and you did one trade and made $100, you paid for the toolkit already. And if that makes the difference between you passing the eval and not passing an eval or getting funded a period, I mean, think about that. I'm kind of amazed I haven't sold more of them, to be honest with you. As many people as viewed my videos, but I get it. There's a lot of junk on the internet, and people are very skeptical. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to show like a real live trader scenario, and all the scenarios a real live guy's going to be put in and how it's actually going to work in a real life setting. Okay, I'm going to get my trade set up here. So if we do take a buy, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go to 15 today. 15 is what they recommend for the size of account I have. That's where I got that number. And that's just going off of the rules and the notes they have in there. So I'm just using this exactly how they recommend. Let's see what kind of results we're going to get. all set up ready. Just going to see what's going to do at the 21 here. 21's a really important line for me to look at. Like I said, if we go from triple R to triple G and we're above our MAs, EMAs, and then we get a little RSI action going on with the signal, we're going to take it. We're going to take it. I'd love it if I could get at least a trade or two on the stream. That'd be great. Friday's trades were awesome. For as volatile as it was, we did not take a loss. I did have a little bit of drawdown on one of the trades I was a little worried about. Not worried, but it was more than I wanted it to be. But yeah, the trades worked out really well. I'm up 1,000 between last night, 2 trades, and 1 trade this morning on the 2-minute chart. Nice. Nice. I'm just thinking about something while you said that. Let me look at my stats. How is, I don't think Take Profit Trader, do they have consistency rule? I can't remember if they do or not. I want to look and see. Yeah, they do. It's 50% though. That's good. So you can have some monster days and it not affect it too bad. I know the first time I passed an eval with them, I did have one huge day. I had like a monster 5-minute that we rode for a while, and I had a huge day. And they just raised it up like $500 or $600, and so the next day I just knocked it out of the park. I just waited till I hit that number they said to hit, and then I shut the trades off. And then like an hour later, I got the email. Nice. On the 2-minute chart, nice. Yeah, 2-minute and 3-minute are very similar. I think I prefer 3-minute. Just like I say, I think you get a little bit less trades and a little bit higher probability trades, and you can go a little more distance. But 2-minute works great too. That's why I'm doing this video on this one, because I want to show how good it works. That Friday we had a killer day. If every day was like that, man, you could be a millionaire. You could literally just get like 20 accounts and do brackets and just make some cash. Every signal you took that was a profitable signal, just trade to another 5 accounts and do that. And yeah, next thing you know, you have to do 200 or 300 on 20 accounts, and you could really make some good cash every day. That'd be very easy to do with this system. Okay, we broke that 21 and the 200. We're getting some positive RSI. Money flow's definitely heading up. It was down to in the 40s just a minute ago. So let's see if we're going to try and test this 4-hour resistance again. Okay, now we changed from triple R to triple G. Candle just opened. Really excited to see if we get a signal here pretty quick. If we do, I'm on it. I'm set up. So this is what I do. I get it all ready. So the second I get that toast alert, it's at the very beginning of the candle after that alert. So the alert will populate on this candle. If it does populate on this candle, it will wait till the candle closes, and then I'll get the alert. And so the trade will enter at the very beginning of the next candle. I get a lot of questions on that, how that works. Do not place the trade. See how that repainted a little bit? You don't want it. You want to wait till the candle closes before you do anything. You want to wait for the alert. So the alert's not going to populate and then go away. The alert will only stay if the candle stays and if everything stays like it's supposed to. So that's why you want to wait till the candle opens. Don't anticipate. Anticipating would be very bad. It's like any other tool. There's going to be volatility times where it might give you a false signal, And then 2 or 4 minutes later, you're completely opposite direction, and it was just a fake out. You want to wait till you've got all your ducks in a row, everything's confirmed before you click buy or sell. Okay, triple G's. Triple G's, we're at 17 RSI. We went from 10 to 17, so that tells you things are flipping around. Buyers are jumping in. 46 ATR, it's pretty incredible for a 2-minute chart. We should be able to hit 8 really fast if that's the kind of movement we're seeing in each candle. Everything's looking green. They got a support that just formed. This level here is going to be where we test next, and then after that we'll be clear for that 4-hour that we tested earlier. This doesn't look like it, but this is a long distance. Just these candles are so massive, but this is a long distance. This is a very, very long distance right here. I may, if we get a signal, I may just hold it and see if we test this level here, because I'll bet we do. This is looking very, very likely we're going to get at least to here, at least to these next resistance lines, but it looks like we can poke through. Looks like we could poke through. We'll see. I just had to reset the stream. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now we're good. Okay, we got a signal, but it's not populated yet. We got about a minute left in the candle. We want to wait and get confirmation. Do not, and I'm glad we see this, and this is a question I get fairly frequently, do not take the buy, do not take the signal until you get the alert and it's at the beginning of the new candle. Please, please, please understand that. I get so many questions on that. So many communications about how that works. Wait till you get a signal. Wait till the signal, the toast alert that you get from TradingView is confirmation that that is the signal. The signal in the candle is not confirmation that that's a signal. This price could roll back a little ways and that signal will disappear. And then it may be 2 minutes later or 4 minutes later you actually get the real signal. But do not trade it. Do not trade it until it's confirmed, until after that candle closes. Here's your time right here. We got about 15 seconds left. There's our time right there. We're all set. We're ready to go. We got everything like we should. We're doing this exactly how they recommend it by the recommendations. No mods. We're just doing this 100% how you get out of the box. There's our toast alert. There we go. That's 8 ticks, guys. That's how big these candles are. That's 8 ticks. You can barely see the take profit. Holy crap, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. So much slippage, so much volatility. It might have been better just to stay out of that trade. Oh no. Wow. That's a hell of a drawdown. Yeah, these candles are massive. Yeah, that's massive. Obviously, that's not what we wanted. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. We're leveraged pretty high too. So this is a good reason that you want to manage your money. Like you want to be really careful with the sizing right here because you don't know what the drawdown's going to be, especially on a day like today. Yeah, that was a huge drawdown. That was not cool. Way too much drawdown. Holding all that drawdown for just like 150 bucks, that's not good. We saw a little bit on Friday, but that was a lot more drawdown than I wanted. So maybe today it might be good to back that size off a little bit, go down to like 5. I mean, 15 is what they recommend, but man, that's way too much drawdown. We don't want to be holding that kind of drawdown, guys. That's way too much. We got bullish action across the board. Our RSI's grown quite a bit. Our money flow's grown quite a bit. that's a lot more drawdown than I'd want. I think the highest drawdown I saw on Friday was like $500. So we went to like $1,800. That's way too much drawdown. And I'm sure a lot of that's volatility. I mean, this is a volatile day. I was really just hoping we'd keep pushing up and it'd knock that signal out in 30 seconds. But this is live. This is what you're going to get. This is what you can expect. So I'm kind of glad this happened too, because I want you to see how wild things can be, and you don't want to get way too big with your sizing, because this is what is going to happen. We take a big loss here, it's going to take 4 or 5 signals to make that big loss up. And when you're like at the last day of your eval, if you're on your last day of your eval, you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, I just wiped out 2 days of progress on one bad trade. So really be careful, really be mindful of obviously the day you're trading and the times you're trading, but the size you use. I mean, I wouldn't even like it if it was a third this much. That's still way too much for how much we're going to get back out of that trade. That's a lot to hold, and I'm sure a lot of that's just because of volatility. Move this up a little bit. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I ought to just break even on this one and wait. I don't know if today's going to be a good day to trade, guys. Actually, it might be okay if we wait another hour or two, but yeah, this is just incredible. We're seeing some super volatility here. Okay, we're 4 minutes into the trade here. 2 candles have closed and opened, and we're still hovering. We're quite a bit in drawdown. That I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I don't want to take a loss, but man, I don't like that at all. You got to realize these candles are ginormous too. Yeah, I'm not liking that at all. That was not good. So this is what could have happened to you earlier, Cyclonic, on that NQ trade. I mean, that had been the same story. Even a smaller amount, just so much range it's moving right now. It looks like a normal chart, but we've got the amounts that are moving is 5 times what it usually is. God, that drawdown really is not good. That is crazy drawdown. On NQ, it would have been worse too. Obviously, I wouldn't have done that size on NQ. I would have done very small on NQ just because of what it is. But I don't even like trading NQ. It's just, I get so mad at it. Okay, we're back to break even now. I don't want that to pull back on us. God, that was crazy. That's a lot of drawdown, guys. That is like the most I've seen of pretty much any signal I've ever tried. But obviously today is not a normal day. I mean, we're having numbers that we record numbers we would never see any other way. So I was going to kill it too, damn it. I'm just going to kill this trade, I think, guys. I'm not liking how this looks right there. I just killed it. I took 400. Oh man, that was stressing me out. I think we're gonna pause trading for today because man, these candles are too big. You're gonna take too much drawdown. The signal went through. It was about 6 minutes. The signal went through, but wow. Yeah, good, Cyclonic, good. I was nervous. I didn't like that. These candles are so big. The drawdown is just crazy. And that trade I just did was like $380, $393.75. Jeez. At one point it was 600, but if it went back against us, it was $2,000 at one point. And I don't want to play. I'm not okay with that. That's way, not at those levels, not at 15, right? That's what they recommend. That's way too high for a day like today. Way too high. Plus, you don't want to, if you did knock it out of the park, all you're going to do is hurt your consistency, and then you'd have to just keep trading to get your funded. So we got to be real careful with that. Holy crap, that was, oh man, I might need to go outside for a second. Like, that scared me. That was pretty wild. Yeah, that was pretty wild. The signal went through. One for one. We're up 393. The next trade we take, if we're gonna keep trading today, I'll probably just take one more trade, and we're gonna go clear down to 5. I don't want it to be. I would have been nervous at a third those levels for drawdown. That was wild. But like I said, I'm glad. See, this is why I'm doing my channel, guys. This is what my channel's about. I want to show exactly what you can expect. That was wild. These candles are wild. This looks like a normal chart, but these candles are huge. Huge swings in 2-minute candles. I mean, this 2-minute candle right here started right here at 50.93, and the top out of it was 51.32. So 40 something ticks in 2 minutes. We're only trading for 8. We were just looking for 8, and we were negative 45 at one point. That's wow. Nice, Cyclonic. Another 1,000 to pass my 50K. Sweet. Good for you. That's great, man. Good for you. That is awesome. Oh man, that was, when I saw that negative drawdown right off the bat. Oh my gosh. Because Friday, every single trade, it was almost instantaneous. We were just in the money, and everything went really. And I'd say most of the time, not just Friday. Most of the time, that's what I've seen. I mean, the signal worked out. We just want to make sure this is really good that this happened. I want everyone to see you've got to think about your drawdown. You are going to take drawdown if you take these signals. I think the signals are great, but you need to figure out your drawdown, especially days like today. That's why this data box is important. If you see stuff like this, I mean, look at this. Most days, a normal day would be like 5 to 10 on a 2-minute chart. So, and that would mean if we got in the trade just right, that would mean 2 to 4 minutes we're out of the trade. Jeez. See, now if we'd have held on to that, we'd be in drawdown again. That's why I got out. I waited for profit and I just got out. I was a lot higher than that too. I was like 600, 650 at one point, but it's fine. I was way too over leveraged on how today is for the volatility. So if you see bigger, so a lot of people say that to me too. If they ask me, why do you do smaller numbers on your swing trades? Shouldn't you just do the same and then make that much more on a swing trade? And it's a different methodology, right? Like you're just doing a different mindset. And so I'm going to set a wide take profit and a wide swing, and I'm going to let the trade do its thing. So if I did a high, if I leveraged high on a swing trade and it did hit that swing, like, or hit that take profit or stop loss, or it just went into a huge drawdown because I'm away from the chart or whatever, I mean, it's an account killer if you do that. So yeah, so I like to scalp higher and swing lower as far as my unit size go. That's just how I do it. But yeah, that was scary. Cyclonic, holy cow. Woo! I feel like going outside and having a smoke. I don't even smoke. Like, that was crazy. Wow. I'm glad I got that in the stream though. That'll be good watching later. Some kid in 3 weeks is gonna watch that video and go like, man, he almost blew it. That was crazy. He almost blew it. I still had like another 1,000 to go down, but it was going down fast. It was not okay. Don't trade more than 12 contracts. Don't allow your account balance to go below 0. Only trade permitted products. Do not hold positions past 1700 EST. Doing good on our consistency so far. Stream's doing good. Man, I'm glad I got that in stream though. That was cool. I'm glad that worked out. Cyclonic. Woo, we could have been in bad shape on that one. That could have been. And look, if you'd have held it hoping to go up here, look what happened. It may just ping pong right here for a while. You know. I've got to go let my dog out. I'll be back. Take a short break here. Okay. I had to go let the dog out. Sorry about that, guys. Wow, that was wild. I cannot believe that happened. That was pretty insane. I think we're gonna scale way down today. Jeez. We could I mean potentially we could go back to this level here and test the daily high. So right now we're about 50% of our daily high, daily low. I like to look at that number too, which is generally where a VWAP would be, is around 50% of the total daily high, daily low type of deal. So our alternatives for today, we can try and test this level again, or we can break down into this 21, test the daily low. Either way, we've got some room. Either way, we got some room. So yeah, we'll take another signal, see what happens here. Mr. Trader Mick, how are you, man? You trading today? We're seeing some wild stuff here. Holy cow. Look at these ATRs. It's been double this too. Isn't that crazy? I'm not gonna lie. That trade made me pucker. That was, holy cow. That was wild. Yeah, probably a good idea. Yeah, it's Cyclonic and I have been talking about that for a little bit. It may be one of those days it's not good to try and trade. If you do, tight stop loss, right? Type stop loss, because this is just too wild. We're just getting way too wild, the swings. I mean, this candle here is a 2-minute candle, and we're 70 ticks on a 2-minute candle. 63 ticks, 65 ticks. Jeez. I am just super glad I pulled out of that one and got what I did. That could have been an account killer for sure. This week's going to be like that, guys. Everything I'm seeing, everything I follow, this week's going to be a mess. It might be a really hard week to try and pass an eval or trade funded at all, just because things are so wacky. Now later, when it calms down, maybe, but it might not calm down. I mean, we might get a random treat from Trump and like the slowest part of the market and just throw things like this, throw these haymaker candles, these FU candles they call them. Looking like we're gonna probably head to the south here. Looks like we're gonna try and test this daily low. Just a minute ago we were up here. We hold below that 21. They've got some good room to go down. Same thing NQ. Very similar charts again. These guys move very similar to each other. Not 100%, but they're pretty close. Yeah, this might be a good day to call it and not even try and trade, guys. That's really smart. That's actually really smart. I wanted to, ideally I'd like to have a couple signals and have them work out and be kind of like Friday, but the thing is with trading, and everybody needs to understand this too, like every day's different. There is no, a lot of people have a really hard time understanding that concept, that every day is different and there is no guarantees on anything. Some days you're going to win, some days you're going to lose. That's just how it is. The point is to have more good days than bad. Yeah, that was awesome. I liked it. I wanted to make that video, Mr. Trader Mick, because I just wanted to show a video of how you use the Market Metrics toolkit and the signal setup, how they have it like out of the box. That was all this. That was the right way they recommend to use it. And people are wanting to see that. People are wanting to see like how you use it and what is realistic. And today too, that trade I just did, it went through, but you're gonna have some drawdown. So you got to be good with your sizing. You got to be smart with your sizing, and you got to be ready to kill the trade too if you're not setting a stop loss. So according to the rules, if one of these white dots closes below and I have the 21 highlighted, which is the bottom of the profit wave, but it says if it closes below the profit wave, so this would have been our stop loss. This would have been our entry was here, and our stop loss would have been here. So that's what I look for, right? That's what I would look for. But yeah, you got to be crazy, crazy careful. But yeah, I thought it was a good video. It's trade to make, and most days are like that. I mean, I'd say I have way more days like that than today. Way more. I'd say 80% of the days with the signals are like that. I've said on how dozens of videos. I feel like dozens of my videos I've propped those signals up really high because you are going to take a loss here and there, but overall they're really good. And if you're newer to trading and you're having a hard time finding like entries and stuff, they're killer. Use them. That's what they're for. They're killer. Even if you're a seasoned trader and you got your own strategy or whatever, you do like I was doing. I just had one chart open for those, and then I was swinging on another chart. And if they're going together, then you know you're in a good setup, right? You're swinging as you scalp, or your scalp as you swing. I mean, I've made some. We look at my channel, you can see the videos. I've made some really good returns that way, because you're just trading on the train with everybody else. You're on that same momentum train with everybody else. So, but yes, thank you, Trader Mick. I appreciate that. I try to put good content out. I want it to be real, you know? People ask me questions all the time, like, are you trading this style now? Are you doing this now? Or what do we do? How come you change to this? And I'm like, well, first off, I'm a affiliate for Simple Market Metrics. And so I want to show, just because their channel is just mostly showing like 1 minute chart for everything, sometimes 2 minute. But I want to see what happens on other time frames. And I want my channel as a whole to be like a trading channel. So if there's other indicators I see that I want to show and test and do things with that I feel like it's valuable, I will. And I'm only going to make a video if I feel like it's valuable. I'm not just putting content out to put content out. So Friday's video I thought was a good video to show because look at the signals. We had 5 for 5. It was a great trading day. And it was a hard trading day too. It was tough. It was very volatile. Not quite this bad, but it was pretty bad. And we got through it. You know, you had a strategy in it, you got through it. And if you had to take a loss, then just wait for another signal, and you'll catch that second one, and you'll at least break even. I mean, if you don't have a trading plan, those signals are a really good thing to stick to. Just do it just follow the instructions. Everything you need is right here. Everything you need is right here. It comes with it. It's got all the trading rules, ask questions, a contact. You can email Justin. He's a great dude, by the way. I like Justin a lot. I've really talked to him. He watches my videos too. He'll email me and say, "Hey, great video. I appreciate you being transparent. You looks like you're killing it. Great to see. I love it. This is so fun." You know, he's a great guy. I really like the guy. I just feel like that I want to show a little bit more of my experience over the last 6 months with it in multiple time frames and doing different things. And my favorite type of trading is I like to scalp and I like to swing at the same time. I can do both. I started my trading career doing scalping back in Forex. And as I developed and got better and learned how to swing trade and make a little bit longer distance trades, I did a little bit better that way. But I always find that if I'm in a tough spot, I come back to scalping. And these signals are super awesome scalp signals. So, and like I said, I just want it to be from a real perspective, from a real trader. Like, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have lots of money. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just a real guy in his home office with a basic chart set up, trying to make it happen. So, and as I can see from the chat followers and the followers on my channel, you guys are all doing the same thing. You guys are all trying to make that same goal. Okay, I'm really curious. ATR is definitely slowing down. Volume is definitely slowing down. So I'm really curious to see. I want to see what the next signal's looking like. I want to see if we're going to break that 200, if we're going to continue to go back up and test that high again, or if we're going to break that 200 and we're going to test a new low today. It's anybody's game. We're 50-50 right now. It really is. I mean, we're about 50%. 52.85, 48.32. So 50% of that's going to be, yeah, we're almost right there at 50% right now. So it's anyone's guess right now. This is a super, super strong support. I mean, we've got 4 supports stacked on top of each other. But on Friday, we blew through this support. This was a strong support for weeks, and we blew through it. So we dipped down 200 points below it. So, oh, I appreciate that, Mr. Trader Mick. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping you guys know other people, or I'd like the word to get spread that for people starting out, here's a good place to start. Here, I know there's some content on my channel, like the chart setup video, the V5 video, some of the live stream videos that show like the profit and loss. I know those are going to be helpful for people because there's so many, and I try to put myself in a new guy's position. Like there's so many questions you have. How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you set this up? How do you do that? That's why probably the most common question I get is how do I set my chart up to look like yours? Because out of the box V5, it doesn't look exactly like mine. You got to add a few things to it. So that's why I made the chart setup video. If you want it to look like mine and you like how the progress we make and what I've done on my channel as a whole, if you want yours to look like that, then there's a video, and it's in every video. It's in every single video I make. It's in there. So exactly, real guy, real trading, right there. I don't have you see the wins and you see the losses, and it's funny too because I really have a hard time. I'm just like everybody else. I can get through an eval okay, but I have a hard time unfunded, and it feels like the universe is always you still got to be the one thing that metrics doesn't do anything is the size. You don't have anything for sizing. So whatever you put here is what it's going to be. And if you don't give yourself any room, then you're going to kill the account, and it's not the metrics fault. So the first it's so dumb too. The first funded account I got with Take Profit Trader, it was like in January. I had a pending order from doing this. See how that worked? I was clicking on the screen and doing like everything that I do on a daily basis. I clicked a pending order like down here. I left my screen. I didn't notice it because I usually do all my stuff on TradingView, and it activated and then went against me for the next 5 hours or whatever. I came back the next day and I looked and my account was closed. I got an email saying that there was a breach, and I'm like, what? When I left, I was in profit. How could there be a breach? So it's real. It happened to me. That stuff happens to everybody. It's so funny how many people have showed. I thought that was a really stupid, silly, weird thing to happen, and tons of people are like, yeah, I've had something like that happen to me before too. I've had guys tell me that they wanted to do 2 and they did 20. And then the market went against them and they were out of the trade in 2 minutes and they blew the account because they wanted to do 2 and they did 20. I had one lady tell me she did 200 something. Like she tried to do, I think she said she was going to do like 20.2 or something like that, and it wouldn't take 20, so it just did 200. Or I don't know. I didn't understand what happened, but the point is, it happens to everybody. We're all real people, real traders, and we get hosed by the market frequently. So we all have stories about that, don't we, Mr. Trader Mick? Don't we, Cyclonic? Anybody else who's listening still? Frequent hosier by the market. We bought a lot of mansions, all of us together. We bought a lot of mansions and a lot of airplanes and a lot of cars and a lot of coke and a lot of hookers for somebody. Not us, but somebody. Looks like we're going to sink a little bit here, guys. Testing that 200. If we break that 200, we could. RSI sink in, money flows sink in. ATR slowing down a little bit too. So earlier today, Mr. Trader Mick, I don't know if you saw this, but this was like 100 on a 2-minute candle. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm thinking we're going to sink, guys. I think we're going to test new lows. we get a signal here to sell, good area to shoot for would be this resistance right here above these, or this support right here above these other supports. Anytime you see stacks that close together, you can just tell that's a super strong support. I mean, that's like the lowest the price of the S&P has been for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months maybe. That's a strong support right there. But the market's going so wild, we could just blow it. We could just knock that down, no problem. It might move right through that and not even stop. Yeah, I'm with you, Mr. Trader Dick. This is not good. This is anybody who's done some time with the chart. This doesn't look good at all. Yeah, this doesn't look good at all. Way too much movement in each candle. If you're trying to scalp, I mean, if you're on the right side of it, sweet. But as we just saw, holy cow, there's no room for error. You know, I'll do 2 and I'll make $20 on an 8-tick scalp, but it could go down 150 in drawdown. It's like, it doesn't make sense to do that. It's not a healthy kind of trading. Eventually your luck's gonna run out and you're gonna have a bad day and be buying an eval. So let's see if we can get another signal. I'd like to trade one more signal before I end the stream today. I gotta go here in a little bit, but like I say, as things get warmer, I'm going to start getting busier with work. And so this isn't my full-time job right now. I'd love to be able to tell you that I'm making huge money on this and I can do this full-time and dedicate the time to it. But I've just been kind of lucky to spend the time I've had on my charts and my channel because of the weather. Yeah, if you're going to trade today, you need to have a very tight stop loss. And it's very likely you'll just hit the stop loss instantly. So it doesn't even make sense. I mean, there's no. I don't even know if we can. Us retail traders, and this is just a meat grinder. This is a meat market right here. And the thing is too, it doesn't matter what your bias is, buy or sell. These candles are moving so much in one candle. They're hunting for stop losses. Yeah, me and you both, man. I'm lucky I got out of that one when I did. Straight up. That could have been an account killer for sure. See, that's what I'm trying to explain. The system's awesome, but your overconfidence level, you've got to keep that in check, right? And I'm using it how they recommend it. So it doesn't say anything about volatile days or ATR numbers or anything like that. So if you're just using a static number for your sizing, eventually you're going to blow it. Just got to keep that in mind. And that's a real trader, real perspective type of thing like we just saw. So I would keep an eye on these pretty close. And if your ATR goes up, you can size down. Tight stop loss and size down. I don't really like stop losses, but days like today, not a bad idea. I'd much rather take a small loss and have an account to trade tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or a month from now, versus getting my credit card out and buying another TPT. I don't even know what a reset is these days, but I think it's pretty close to. Well, on a 50K account, it's the same price. A reset and just buying a new eval is the same price, or like $10 difference. Got 8 on the stream today. Thank you guys for being here. I know there's other channels to watch, and I appreciate you being here. That's our daily low, and that's our daily high. About 450 ticks. Insane. Market opens is insane today. I am so glad I didn't trade that and just watch these candles do their thing. Because, you know, a lot of guys would try to just buy and capitalize off that, but what a nightmare. I can just see the prop firms made some money today. They've got to have. People just not know what they're doing and way too over leveraged on a bad side of a candle. Yeah, they sold some accounts today, I'm sure. I do too, man. I really do. Overall, I mean, it's not perfect, but overall, it's a good system for 99 bucks. It's there. You can't beat it for that price level. There's nothing out there that works as good as this does. I'm sure of that. I love it. I'm an affiliate for him. I mean, my whole channel is dedicated to trading this style of trading, so it's made that much difference for me. I knew some stuff before I used it, but yeah, it's great. It's great. If you know the tweaks and stuff I've made to it have just made it even better. I think there's more to the story than just one thing, so I like to look at multiple things, and that's worked well. We've seen it on the channel. I've had some bad days too, like everybody else, but overall, I've had a lot. I trust it. It's helped me get out of some bad trades. It's helped me make losses back too, which I really like that. So it's helped my consistency because on a bad day I can just wait and be patient for a good setup, and then I'll use that setup to get me out of a bad one. That I've done that several times. And then there's been days where everything's just went swell and every signal worked out, and I just absolutely kicked some butt. Very, very easy trading. Very, very easy going. Oh, thank you, Gary. How you doing today? How you doing today? We try to just be real here, real and helpful and uh, common sense type of stuff. You know what I mean? Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. Are you going to find anything perfect, especially at $100 price point? Not even close. I can tell you right now, you could spend thousands of dollars and probably not get this good a setup because I've done it. And the time that these guys put together to make this metrics toolkit and to do the Pine script and everything that's involved in that, he had to sell a bunch of them before he even broke even, I'm sure. It cost a lot of money to develop that. So, and like I said, Justin's a great guy. I've talked to him personally. I talk to him every week. We email back and forth quite frequently. I am going to be one of the, I know for sure I'm going to do that 50K account thing and be on those live streams. Yeah, that's one of my goals. So, hope you're doing okay, Gary. Hope you're doing all right in your trading. I like seeing you guys, these repeat streamers coming on the stream with us. That's awesome. But yeah, I really do. I hope it's helpful. I really want to put out good content that's helpful. That's really been my goal. I am affiliate, so I am trying to sell this. I do like the commission I get off the kit, and I want to sell a bunch of them. I want to be the biggest affiliate for them. So I put a lot of energy in my channel the last couple months, just dedicated towards the simple market metrics and my journey with it. What I've seen, what I know, what I don't know, that sort of thing. So, but it's vibing. My channel's grown phenomenally. I can't. If you'd have told me 3 months ago that I had over 10,000 views, I don't know if I'd have believed it. And I'm at 30,000 views. I'm 3 times that high. Some of my metrics have gone up 500% in 30 days. And all I'm doing is just showing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I make a live stream. I make a video. I show what it is. And, yeah, people are seeing it. There you go, Gary. I love the dedication because that's hard to do. A lot of people can't do that, and that's how they blow accounts. So it sucks when you're down, but it's also, I mean, props to you for recognizing that and live to trade another day, right? All of us traders have been there, and we know how hard that is, but we also know how essential that is. So good for you. Good for you. It's all fun and games, and it's awesome when you're just winning after win after win, and eventually you're going to have a losing day, and you just have to take it in stride. So good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, I've been there too, so good for you, man. The thing I don't like about Take Profit Trader is I can't set those risk settings. And if I did, that trade would have been a loss. This trade would have been a loss. I mean, we took a huge gamble on holding that drawdown, but this would have been a loss because I would have set it at like 800 bucks. 800 win, 800 loss, and we'd have lost on our first trade. We'd be done trading today. High value man. When can I exit the trade? Which trade are you talking about, high value man? Yeah, which trade are you talking about? The trade we did earlier today has already hit the take profit. And if you read the notes here, How you're supposed to exit it is when the white dot is on the other side of the. I was talking about that a little while ago. Right here. Stop out the trade if white dot remains on the opposite side of the profit wave only when the candle has closed. So that would have been right here. So if you bought on this signal and you didn't hit the take profit, which I don't know how you wouldn't have because it hit it twice or 3 times before it went backwards. But that would be where you'd exit right there. Yeah, so if you have the metrics, go into here and go into the trading rules, the very top one. Stop out the trade if the white dot remains on the opposite side of the profit wave, only when the candle is closed. So in that scenario and those rules, it would have been here. You would have canceled right here. So it wouldn't have been too bad of a loss. I mean, it'd be a lot better than waiting to clear down here where it is now. So, but yeah, I hope that helps you. Another thing I used to do, and I've done frequently when I did use stop losses, is I'd set up just on the other side of the 21. I just do it just on the other side of 21. So if we'd have entered here, our stop loss would have been here and our take profit here. Now it doesn't make sense to take 30, 40 ticks for 8. So that's why, you know what I mean? You got to kind of look at that too. The only reason these signals are as valuable as they are is they're high probability. So the likelihood of it hitting a stop loss even at the 21 level is very, very low, especially with the MA and the chop filter on. I don't take those off, guys. I know a lot of guys in the chat over the live streams and videos I've made have said take that off or mess with this. I don't mess with it. Leave it at 200 because you only want to be. I'm a trend trader, so I only want to be trading with the trend to begin with. And that chop filter probably saved us from a loss over here or getting filled in a really bad time. What if we'd got filled on a buy at the top of this candle and it went that far down before it went all the way back up? I mean, that would have been a huge drawdown, if not an account killer. And then 5 minutes later, you would have made tons of money. But these candles are impossible to trade, and the chop filter probably filtered that out. So don't take that off. If you're on like My Funded Futures or Tradeify or a different broker, you probably got a signal in here somewhere, even with the chop filter on. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure that's why I didn't get a signal there. So yeah, high value man, I hope that helps you. The notes would say that you'd want to cancel one that goes on the other side of the 21. My personal thing would be I would set the stop loss on the other side of the 21, which is that white line, which is very similar to what this says in the notes. So I wouldn't do just a static stop loss if that's what you're asking, because every scenario is different. And today, like if you just did a static 10 pip stop loss, which most days would be pretty accurate in the realm or in the ballpark, today it's nowhere near where it needs to be. We got way too much ATR. Candles are moving way too much. So you would have just stopped out, just been a loss instantly, pretty much. Okay, we're back to triple G. Noticed I sized way down. If we're going to take another trade, I'm going to be way, way down on this one. I just want to show the effectiveness of the signals. That's a really big goal of mine on these live streams and the videos that I make. Just trying to be 100% transparent on what you can expect and what. I'm trying to sell more of them. I'm an affiliate, so I want to show exactly what my experience has been and what your experience is going to be very similar to. Every day is different. Trading is a bunch of question marks. It's about the best way to put it. We don't know direction. We don't know distance. We don't know where price is going to be an hour from now or a day from now. So we just have to make the best choice off of the information we do know, which what we do know is to the left of the chart. Back in the day when we were trading Forex, if you were always unsure of where a price is going to go, look to the left. Give you a really good, strong indication. I'd say this is higher probability. 75% going to go something like this, 25% going to go something like this. And plot both sides too. That's why I have my high and my low here. I like to look at the 50% on just a plain chart. 50% we can go up, 50% we can go down. And the RSI is curling back up. We've crossed the 21. We're setting up for maybe another signal. We'll see. Yeah, so high value man. Okay, first part of that, ideal time to trade is definitely the U.S. market. I've never had good luck in the slower markets. There's just not enough volume, enough trading to going on to really make money either way. And you'll start seeing the metrics not working near as well. And everybody who's traded them can vouch for that. So I would say the U.S. market. My personal rules are I wait till my stream starts 30 minutes after the market opens. We want to let all that original market opening volatility to settle down a little bit before we start making any trades, start taking any signals. 8 ticks is what they recommend. So the settings I'm using on this video, the reason I'm doing this video, this is kind of a continuation of Friday's video, is the 2-minute chart with the recommended settings is 8 ticks. So if you read these frequently asked questions or the trading rules, I got that right from there. So I'm using the system exactly how it's designed and how they sell it. So I'm just kind of documenting how that journey is and what that's going to look like in a real scenario for a real trader. So 8 ticks is what they recommend. Closing the trade where we talked about. Your sizing is, that's kind of personal. I mean, everybody's going to have a little bit different risk appetite. But the sizing is at the bottom of here, number 6. How many contracts should I start trading with prop firm accounts? 50K is 5 micros. 150K is 2 minis, which would be 20 micros. So 15 is a little bit aggressive. It should be more like 12. Would be direct in the middle for a 100K account, which is what I have. And those are just recommendations. I mean, not every scenario. I don't know if, like today, what we just saw, I had a lot of drawdown and I had a huge size. I really shouldn't have been trading that much size. I should have really paid attention to the ATR. Friday I had such good luck with the signals and everything traded out well. This next one, I think we'll go down to 5. Let's just stay at 5 and see what happens. Because I know I can withstand some drawdown at 5. It's not going to affect me too much. And then the trade will go instantly through and it'll be like I should have just left it at 10. But yeah, that drawdown sucks. That it makes no sense to have 1,000 plus in drawdown to make like $200. Your 5 times the risk to reward ratio is absolute garbage at that level. So, and you're going to get those with signals. I'm really glad that happened because it's not all just days like Friday where every signal pans out within 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I would say most of the time it's like that, but not every day. You're going to have days where you're going to have some drawdown, and eventually you're going to have to take a loss. You will get a loss here and there. Nothing is ever going to be 100% win, but you can get high 70s, high 80s maybe. You just got to make sure that loss isn't the monster that kills all the wins. That's the fight people really usually lose. I would say that's probably one of the hardest things for traders to do is to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take a loss and be done with that trade and then just look for a better setup. They just hold on to that trade until it kills their account. I don't know why we as humans do that, but it's just none of us want to take a loss. We don't want to see red. We all want to see green. And then the next thing you know, you're buying another account, buying another eval, starting all over again. You could do that. You could have a week of solid returns and lose it all in 10 minutes. Ask me how I know. It's not fun. Okay, 14 views on the 14 people here on the stream. Thank you guys. Like I said a couple times today and earlier, a lot of channels out there doing trading. I appreciate you being here in my channel. Just trying to do real trading with a real guy. And like I said, I am an affiliate for Simple Market Metrics. I do enjoy selling it. I've sold quite a few of them. I've ran a lot of ads on my channel. My channel's grown phenomenally in the last 3 months. It's not even a word, but you know what I mean. It's been really fun to see. It's kind of twofold. I enjoy the trading, but I also enjoyed the channel aspect of it. I enjoy watching the channel grow. And there's just a lot of interest in this trading in futures trading. It's a very hot niche right now, but there's a lot of interest in the Simple Market Metrics. I think I got in towards the beginning when I started getting involved about 6 months ago, and Justin and I talk frequently. In fact, he emailed me yesterday. We talked a little bit last night. So good dude, really good dude. I like him. I just want to show what a real trader experience is going to be with it, and sell as many as I can. That's my goal. I want my channel to be informational, kind of a good resource for somebody who's struggling. Very, very affordable. A lot of my content's free. Like, you know what I mean? All my content's free, but I'm saying you just buy the Simple Market Metrics kit for 99 bucks one time. That's the only thing I really sell. So, and these live streams, hopefully they help people too. Hopefully that this is, I wish Justin would do more live streams. I wish there was like a tab on his channel that was just live stream trading so we can see his mindset and see how he wins. He does a lot of videos looking back in time and just showing like the distances you could have made. But I'd like to see in a real scenario, you're not going to get the max. You're not going to start at the very beginning and get the max available on that candle or that trade. So I'd like to see in a real, you know, that's why I'm doing this, because I'd like to see in a real scenario where I got in, where I got out, how much you can actually do, you know, that sort of thing. Okay, it looks like we're setting up. RSI's grown quite a bit last candle or so. We went from 11, 12 all the way to 17. ATR's still pretty high. I mean, it was 100 earlier, so we're quite lower than that. Things are settling down, it looks like. RSI is curling back up. We do have quite a range from the daily high. So we are setting up for a little bit of a buy here. Usually when we go from triple R to triple G, we would have had a signal by now, but price hasn't moved that much either. So it may be this order block's got to disappear before we actually get a signal. So I'm all set for a signal. We're on a buy. I've got a relatively low size for the size of account I have. We're just looking for 50 bucks here. Just want to show how another signal is going to work out before I end the stream today. I got to get some things done today, so I'm not going to be able to stream very long, as long as usual. But you know, let's see how this goes. I'd really like to get another signal in. The signals are exciting too. I remember when I first started getting the signals, I was on my demo account and just started knocking signals out left and right. That was exciting. It's fun. It's fun. It makes it fun. It definitely adds a fun aspect to trading, especially when you're winning more than losing. I think all of us can appreciate that. That's where we all want to be. Yeah. So we're just watching here. It does look like we're curling up a little bit. Two areas we could aim for is this recent high or the daily high, both of which are quite a distance from where we are now. I mean, this looks like a regular chart, but these candles are absolutely monumentally huge. This is more accurate for today. I mean, these candles are ginormous. This would be like regular. If I had it zoomed in on a regular chart, like for a regular day, this is what it would look like. This is how giant these candles are. I'm zooming way out just so we can see all the candles in one picture here. Yeah, the ATR has been crazy today. Money flow's curling up. We're above 90. 48 on the 5 minute. 174 on the 60 minute. RSI is sinking back a little bit now. That last candle did float into the profit wave a little bit, so let's watch these next two candles could springboard off of that. We talk about that quite frequently. The profit wave is usually quite a springboard. Every time it'd be a great place for scalpers. Like if I was traditionally scalping without a signal, I'd probably buy right here. I would have probably bought and just scalped real quick. I don't want to do that on today's video because I just want to show the signals only, but if I was scalping, that would have been a good buy signal right there. We got plenty of RSI and we're dipped into the profit wave. Everything's looking for a buy right there. Set your stop loss under here, under the 21. You could go the swing low too, which would be here. Depends on your sizing. If you're super small size, then you can go clear down here. And just because you have a stop loss set somewhere doesn't mean you can't kill it if you can see it's going to go that way. I mean, there's no sense in watching your trade hit the stop loss if you can tell that everything's flipped around on you. Okay, we're back to 5 RSI. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to do the rest of the day. Looks like we got a lot of gas out of the tank, and now we're just kind of chilling, so it's really hoping to get one more trade in for the day, but it might not happen. Got quite a distance from where we are now. So we're at 50.64 and the high was 52.85. Like I said, RSI has curled up a little bit, but we could be in this consolidation phase for a little while too. I honestly would not be surprised if we break the lower low though. I mean, if we break this lower resistance that just formed, there's every reason we could test this lower low. This is a super strong resistance, but the way that the market's been the last 2 weeks, we've broke new lows repeatedly. Last 10, 15 minutes, not much happening. We're just kind of staying in that same range. Just kind of floating. Testing that 21. Again, as a scalper, that would be, that 21 would be a great place to springboard off of. And if it broke below it and held, then you'd want to take your loss and wait for another setup kind of thing. Right now, I'm in a buy pattern. Everything looks more likely for a buy than a sell. So if we do get a signal, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. High volume man, if you're still here, the NQ sizing is bigger too than the 8 ticks. So I would say a normal day, 8 ticks is perfect for MES. Like if you look at my Friday video, I don't know if you watched that yet, but watch my Friday video that I posted on Friday. 8 ticks we did really well with. NQ, I think you can go 20 or 30. It's quite a bit bigger. I'm so glad I didn't trade NQ at all today, though. As wild as that monster is to try and tame, jeez. Just really glad I stayed out of here. 2 signals, 2 wins, but a lot of drawdown on that first one, because I'll bet you money you would have entered and this thing would have drawn way back on you and then springboarded up here. This one not so bad. This one not as, I mean, a little bit of drawdown. You'd have started out right here. So a little bit of drawdown on a couple of those candles, and then it went right to your take profit. That second NQ signal is kind of what I thought we'd see here. We didn't quite hit all the numbers we needed to get a signal on MES. They are very similar, but they do move differently, so they're not 100% the same. But I am, like I said, I'm still leaning towards a buy, so I'm ready for a buy. ATR is definitely slowing down. We're getting to more normal realm. We're still pretty high for normal, but 5 to 10 would be normal on a 2-minute candle. So we're only double what normal should be, not 10 times what normal should be. That's how wild today's been in context. Yeah, I'm not a big set risk to reward guy because I think every chart every day is different. 1 to 2 might work most of the time, but there's going to be days it doesn't, and so I just adjust it for every day. I use support and resistance levels, and so sometimes it's tighter and sometimes it's bigger. So a static risk to reward doesn't really work good for me. That's why I don't use. I just manage my wins and losses with what the market's telling me. Now, if you're not paying attention, that you can really get sideways. You can have a bad trade go against you pretty fast that way. So it's not all bad. Having a set risk to reward is not all bad. But 1 to 2, you probably I'll bet you half of those trades you took a loss on, and 1 to 2 would have eventually went into profit. You just had to hold on to the drawdown. So that's the biggest negative about the signals is you got to hold on to some drawdown to make those signals work. And your sizing, you got to have good sizing. I was way too big a size for today. I cannot believe I just left it at what I was doing Friday, but the ATR was 5 times higher, 4 times higher. I should have thought about that. I should have. Like I said, the higher the ATR, the lower the size. Oh, excuse me. I took some medicine. It's kind of make me sleepy. Yeah, let's get one more signal. I'd like to see a slower market signal come through that worked out a little bit more like Friday. That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. So NQ, you'd be 2 for 2, although you'd have to hold some drawdown. Gold. I don't know how good the signals work on gold. I didn't really play with that much. I was more swing trading gold than anything. Just looking back in time, though, it looks like all these, if you would have held on to it and not took a loss, you would have, even with your drawdown, you'd be 4 for 4. Gold's kind of like NQ, though. Once you get on the bad side of it, it's not your friend. Really can make you have a bad day. NQ, I think we're at 2 for 2. Okay, so market opened. This signal was actually before market open. I have my signals set to come up 30 minutes before market open, but I don't start taking trades till 30 minutes after. So my first trade I would place would be after this level here. So we would have waited about 10 minutes and got a signal. But this monster candle, you'd had so much drawdown. It'd have been really hard to eat all that drawdown. It depends. High value man, on your question here at the bottom, from your experience, if we missed the beginning of the market because of my full-time job, can I still make profit during the rest of the day? Yes, you can. Every day is going to be different. So like the later in the session you get towards the end of the trading session day, whichever, I don't know what time you're zoned in, but my time zone, that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So from my experience, I would be okay to trade from I trade from 8 o'clock. My signals go through for about 6 hours. So I think it goes clear till 1 o'clock my time. Power hour is 2 o'clock my time. Power hour, you can find one trade to make usually pretty much every day on power hour, because power hour usually spikes pretty good one way or the other just to end the trading day. So the answer is yes. Now keep in mind, every day is different. I've seen some wild 11, 12 o'clock area trades, and I've seen some very, very boring, slow, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1 o'clock, like nothing happening. So just keep that in mind. But yes, the answer is yes, especially if you're just doing like a 1 and done or 2 and done kind of setup. So like on this trade here, we've only taken one trade today, and it was 393. So you could technically be just 1 and done, depending on when your job gets out. Now there is some people too, and this isn't impossible, but you can trade the Asian session. I personally don't like it. I don't think it moves enough to really justify me sitting there staring at the chart for a couple hours of the night. But does that mean you can't? No, I think you could. I think you definitely could. there may be a time here shortly too, if I get busy enough and I'm too busy during the day, I may have to switch to Asia session. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't like it. It doesn't move as much as I'd like, especially when I'm sitting there looking at the chart and going like, okay, if I'd have been trading in the morning, I'd have done really good today. Yeah, I hope that answers that for you though. High value man. I would say most days, using the metrics, simple market metrics, I would say most days you can pull profit out pretty much. Vedyas Rayo. Hi, good morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your comment. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm hoping, my true desire and hope for my channel is that is a source of help for people. And partly some of that comes from because I was severely misguided when I first started trading and I lost a lot of money. I told my wife that was one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel, was to try and help somebody avoid that. So you're welcome, High Value Man. I hope it helps you. Yeah, I've got a lot of good content on my video too, High Value Man. If you get time, go through some of my videos. I would recommend you watch my V5 video, and then also on the YouTube tab, type in the popular videos. Some of the popular videos have really caught a lot of traction. So just look at the popular ones that had a lot of views, and there's some reasons for that. They show a lot of valuable stuff in there. So if you get time, watch some of those. That might help some of your questions too. Also, for anybody new, my email is in the About page, or on the About section of the page. I do get frequent emails from people that want to ask questions privately. I'm totally for that. So if there's something you want to send me some pictures, have some serious questions or whatever, I'd love to help you that way too. I do not mind at all. So you're welcome to email me and we can chat privately. I've had people ask me, hey, this is my goal, what sizes would you recommend? And I've kind of gave them some basic recommendations. I don't want to tell, so I'm always careful to tell people, just in case you're wondering, if you're asking me how much you can make a day or what sizes you should use, I'm always going to tell you to lean to the low side and work your way up from there, because you want to be comfortable with your trading strategy before you worry too much about sizing. And so I'd rather you take less winning trade. I mean, I'd rather you take less dollar amount per day, but learn the system. That's going to be far more beneficial for you long term than making a bunch of money the first day, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. My answer is going to always be the same with that, especially if you're relatively new to trading. So what I'm going to tell you is, you're even on a 100K account, start at 1 micro. Start at 1 micro. Get some gains in the bank, get familiar with the system, get familiar with where you should put your levels, watch some videos on how I do my take profit and stop loss, kind of replicate that, or design your own system, design what works for you. Some people are scalpers and they just do 10 pips and done. Some people want to swing and try to catch some of these bigger moves. Some people like to micro scalp and get like 2 or 3 in a matter of seconds. So these signals will help you. If you're really not sure what to do, just take the signals for a while. Get used to the system. Take the signals, set a low size, hold the drawdown, and take the signal on the 2-minute chart, 3-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Another piece of advice, do not use the 1-minute chart. If you want some serious advice from somebody that's got murdered on that thing 1,000,000 times, just don't use it. You're going to find you get lots of false signals. You're going to find that it's just anything you gain in a long run down or long run up, you're going to lose in a bunch of joppiness. You're going to really hate it when you get into something like this and it says to buy, so you buy here, and then every candle down goes down 50 ticks, and then it says sell. So you get out of this at a loss and you sell, and then it does the exact same thing the opposite way. I promise you that'll happen. So just be really careful. Really, really careful. Yeah, but you guys are great. I really appreciate all the new people, and if you have questions, I really want to help you. I'll give you my honest answer and try to point you in the right direction the best I can. There's no reason for me not to, right? Why would I do anything but that? I mean, I'm here to sell the metrics, but I've been misled so many times. I know how that feels. I've been lied to and cheated out of money, and I bought systems that didn't work. I bought things that didn't work. I wouldn't put something on my channel that I didn't think worked. And the thing is, I have the live proof to show it. I have the videos and the live streams to show it. My library is almost 60 videos now. A year from now, I'll have 200 or 300 videos if things go well. I'll have quite a library established of daily streams or just videos in general showing how things have went. So yeah, I'd really like to get another signal before we end the stream today. That was my goal, is I'd wanted to have at least 2 signals. But every day, I mean, I guess it's good that it shows this too, because Friday we had 5 signals and they were relatively back to back. I think we had 5 signals in 5 hours. So, and it wasn't like every hour, it wasn't on the dot, but I'm just generalizing. So, but today, and there's been days too where we've only had 1 signal. There's been days I've only took 1 signal trade. So I just really want to hammer home that you don't know what the market's going to do, and the metrics are based off what the market's moving. That's what people need to realize. It's not that the metrics don't work, it's the market is moving volatility. Like, it's moving in such a volatile way that the metrics can't compensate for it. That's why we get bad signals. It's completely dependent upon the market. Like, that's where it gets its data from. So it's not, you can't really blame the metrics if you're having a bunch of losses, especially if you're on the 1 minute chart. It's too quick a chart. Don't use it. I mean, you know, if you're going to use the 1 minute chart, take the $200 training course and learn how Justin does it. That's what I'd recommend. But I like 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. I've just done way, way better. Zoomed out a little bit, slowed down a little bit, done way better. Well, when you say micro trading, what are you talking about? Like, a lot of firms are going to have problems if you're just doing like 1 tick and in a second. They're going to consider that high frequency. So the way that these signals work on 2 minute chart, 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart, I've never had a problem with any of the 3 that I recommend. The big 3 that I recommend are my funded futures, Take Profit Trader, and Tradeify. And I've done this strategy on all 3 of them, and I've never got flagged for any inappropriate trading behavior. But most of these trades have been like 15 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes or 10 minutes even, and they've been for at least 8 ticks. I always go for at least 8 ticks. So I've done 7 before, 7, 8 ticks or more. So I know all 3 of those will let you do it because I've done it all 3 of them, and I've never got flagged or banned. And Justin's channel, he shows, if you dig through his library, he's got like 1,000 videos, so he's got a lot of videos, but I've seen videos where he takes payouts. He's taking payouts from Take Profit Trader using this strategy. So I know they won't ban you. Yeah, so when I was trading on my funded futures, I did do a couple trades, and I think they'll let you do 2 or 3 trades a day like this. But if you did your whole trading day like that, then yeah, I think you would get in trouble. I think you're right. But generally, some of my other videos, you'll see this. Generally, I'll have 2 screens open like this. I'll have 2 panels open, and one will be the S&P and one will be NQ. So I'll go like NQ here and S&P here. So I'll either trade these side to side swinging, or I'll do the same exact one, and one will be a 3 minute chart and one will be a 5 minute chart. And so I'll try to what I'm looking to do, and what I'm trying to do with that is I'm swinging and scalping at the same time, if that makes sense. That's worked really well for me. I've had some really good luck doing that. So when these 2 charts are aligned, when I'm getting similar signals and they're aligned, I'm just looking for the cusp of when things start to turn our way. And so by using these 2 time frames together, I feel like I've been able to do that a lot. So what I'm trying to get at is I'm flexible with how I do things. Like, I don't just do one thing every single time, all the time, always. I hope that makes sense. I have some flexibility in how I trade. What I'm trying to do with the videos I'm doing now is I'm trying to show the signals. So like on 3 minute chart, we wouldn't have had a signal from when I traded. I don't start trading till half hour after the market opens, which should have been right here. My signals are programmed to start coming in an hour before I start trading, but I don't trade. Technically, I don't place any trades until after 30 minutes after the market, which my time is right here. And today on 3 minute chart, we wouldn't have got any trades. We've only had 1 2 minute chart trade. That just may be how today goes too. Here another 15 minutes or so. If we don't get another signal, I'm going to be done for the day. It's just not a good day to trade. super volatile at the beginning, and then it might just float the rest of the day. All the gas is out of the tank, so to speak. So yeah, high value man, I hope that answers your questions. Vedveas, I hope I'm saying that right, but you new guys, thank you for being here. I hope the content's helping you, and any questions or anything, please feel free to email me. I'd be glad to answer them for you behind the scenes as well. I'm really excited to make a video of me getting a payout. That is my immediate goal. I was hoping this week could go really good so I can pass this eval. That was my goal, but we may be looking at a record-breaking week too, guys. There's a lot of things in the world right now that are not good in our economy, and there's a lot of volatility. So just be super careful if you're trading this week. It's about the best advice I can give you. And if things look wonky and you're not real confident, stay out. There's nothing wrong with that. Zero is always better than a loss. Okay, I'm just reading a note here from Take Profit Trader. I'm just going to read this to you guys while I'm looking at this. 5.5, 6%, 5.8%. These were the drops past Friday across the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. And the market this morning is still bleeding. Now, with volatility like this can create incredible opportunities for us day traders. We need to remember that dollars disappear without discipline, especially in this kind of market. So keep this quote in front and center as you execute today. I know where I'm going to get out before I get in. Bruce Kovner. I don't know who that is, but he must be some trader. Know before we go, not after. That's how pros stay paid while the rest stay panicked. They stick to their plan even when they are up. That's very good advice. Very, very good advice. Yeah, I like that. That was straight from Take Profit this morning. Stick to our plan. So you always hear people say, plan your trade and trade your plan. That's what that means. That's exactly what he's talking about in that scenario. Plan your trade and trade your plan. As you get more confident, you'll start finding out that you're going to be a little more adventurous with your stop losses and your sizes and things, and that's normal. Get some confidence. There's nothing wrong with buying the market metrics system and putting it on your demo account for a week or two. There's nothing wrong with that. I highly recommend that. I mean, if you're confident and you have a little bit of experience and you've played the trading game a little bit, then go ahead and put it on an eval. But just start low. If you're going to do that, that's fine. Just start low. Start at like 1 micro. Get a couple wins in the bank and then scale up from there. Nothing wrong with that. So if we do break this 200 and our RSI and everything continues to shrink like it has the last 10, 15 minutes, we got to break this level before we really see much happen. This level right here is our most recent support. And it doesn't look like much, but it's 50 ticks. This is 50 ticks right here. These candles are still 16, 17 ticks, even these little teeny ones. So the chart's deceiving today because these are 3 times bigger than normal. I mean, really, if you were to look at it like a normal day, this is what it would look like in comparison to a normal day. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Just want to see if we're going to be able to break this level. It looks like we're sinking a little bit on RSI, but we're a little bit lower than 50% now of the daily high, daily low. In fact, if we drew our 50% line, it'd be right about where those 3 candle wicks are. So it rejected that 50 line and now it's heading south. So if we break the 200, break this lower support, we might be able to get a signal and get one more sale in for the day, but we'll have to see. We're 1 for 1. 1 win, 1 for 1. Really like to see. Sorry, guys. I wish I could move this out of the way because every time I drag my mouse over it, it does that. We're doing pretty good on our eval, our 100K eval. I really would like to pass this account this week, but it's all going to depend on what happens with the market. It's really testing that 200. Interesting. I'm going to share this with you guys that are watching still. So this is about the pricing halts. If the market moves a certain amount in one day, the CME and CBOT rules are going to halt the trading. (8:30 a.m. to 2:25 p.m. Monday through Friday. 7% up and down limits are effective 5 p.m. So let's go to the NQ or ES. There's the Russell. That's probably the Nikkei index. That's the Japanese market. Okay. FTSE, SE, so S&P Europe. So it gives you the high or the low. So you could draw those out too. That's not a bad idea. Then you know where your endpoints are. Traditionally, I have not worried about this too much because we've never been. It's very rare we move 7% in a day. Yeah, very, very rare. Price up or down. 48.69. Where are we at right now? 48.69 would be right here. Holy cow. Like I said, it's pretty rare we have to worry about that, but it's actually a real thing. So, or we're actually staring at that today. Up and down. Well, that's based on 52.24, which it didn't open there. So it just gives you an idea on the chart. It's not exactly. It was updated this morning, but it's not exactly. Anyway, good to know that came through an email from Take Profit Trader. So if you're part of Take Profit Trader's program, you'll get that email too. Yeah, you should get that email too. Okay, kind of boring now, guys. Last hour or so, I really thought we'd get a signal open here somewhere. We did on the MNQ, and I don't have signal set up on that because I don't really trade it like this. I just mostly do the MES here on the micros. I think we're going to call it for today. I think we were just lucky to get out of this trade. This was a big drawdown trade. It doesn't look that gnarly from here, but these candles are ginormous. This today was absolutely wild. Anybody who's traded today and came out okay, count your lucky stars. Because I'm going to. But that's all we're going to show for today. I was hoping we get more signals, but some days that's how it's going to be. So I guess it's good that we showed that too, because it's realistic to see that not every day is going to be 5 signals, 5 wins. Some days you might just get 1 signal, and we've been trading for over 3 hours now. So that's just how it is some days, guys. So I want to thank everybody like I always do. You guys are awesome for joining the stream. There's a lot of people that stream and in the future space these days. So I appreciate you being here, commenting, asking questions, watching, support, all that good stuff. So with that, we're going to end our trading for the day. Let's stay disciplined, like the email we just got from Take Profit said. You can't control the markets, but you can control your exit. So it's good advice to end.